So thanks everybody for coming. This talk show is with Mr. Hirofumi Fukuzawa. He's the Super Sentai, veteran Super Sentai actor and also action director. And as you all know, he also played Gamera in Gamera 3. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for coming. So I'm going to ask him some questions to get started about his career as a suit actor, and then we'll take some time to ask your questions of him. And Karen here is going to translate for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so my first question is how he began acting as a stunt actor and a suit actor.
じゃあスタントアクターやそのスーツアクターになるきっかけはどんなことでしたか？
自分がなりたかった、体を動かすことが好きだったので、それに適した職業なんかこういろいろこうエンターテインメントで見てた時に、テレビの中でいろいろそういう動いたりとかしてやる仕事があるんで、それに憧れて。
Since he liked to move, so he was looking for a job and looking at the entertainment section, and then tokusatsu caught his eyes.
And what was the first company that he worked for doing that work as a stunt actor?
会社は最初にスタントとか、スーツアクターになったり所属した会社です。
初めに入ったのは日本の大野県友会っていう仮面ライダーを担当したアクションチーム。
The first action team was called Ono Kenyukai, who had a Kamen Rider.
And they were doing Kamen Rider for the television, or were they doing Kamen Rider for like live events?
大野県友会の時は仮面ライダーはそのライブイベントでやってた、それともテレビで担当したんでしょうか？
もう僕が入った時はその仮面ライダーがもう終わってて。
When he joined the company, the Kamen Rider series was over already.
で、2時間ドラマとかそういう
So 2-hour TV drama.
絡みの仕事、主役の人にこうやられ役の仕事を大体やりました。
それは仮面ライダーとは
別で。
So when he joined, since Kamen Rider was over, so he had a 2-hour TV drama, and then his role was like being punched by other character.
So he was like not a suit actor, but like a double for another actor.
それはスーツアクターではなくて、
そうですね。
殴られや顔は出してた。
顔出して、
So yeah, he revealed his face when he did that job.
And what led to his first job as a suit actor?
じゃあスーツアクターの最初の仕事はどういうきっかけで始めましたか？
初めはそこから大体その仕事の一環で、そういう殴られ役をやったりとか、人手が足んなくてその子供番組の絡みの兵隊の中とか、でなんですかこう区切られてないんですよ仕事の中で。
でスーツアクター
別にだからスーツアクターとかも区切りがないんですね本当は。
There are various jobs, so sometimes suit actor, sometimes being punched, revealing the face.
So 一番最初にそのスーツを着てやった仕事何だったか覚えてますか
？He's trying to remember the first suit actor gig.
スーパー戦隊、ターボレンジャー
Turbo Ranger
の、兵隊。
soldier role.
Yeah, the bad guys, soldier. And when he got the job now working for Super Sentai, was this through Japan Action Club? Was he working for Japan Action Club, or was it another company? How was that done?
When the Super Sentai?
When he moved to Super Sentai, what was the company he was working for? Was it Japan Action Club? Was it another company? Like, was he freelance?
スーパー戦隊に初めてキャストされた時はそれは ジャパンアクションクラブを通じてですか、それともフリーランスの時ですか？
ジャパンアクションクラブを通じてです。
はい、through Japan Action Club.
Japan Action Club. And then how and when did he eventually move over to Red Action Deliver? The Red Ranger kind of agency that's for the Red Ranger actors.
レッドレンジャーに移るきっかけになったその時の会社はジャパンアクションクラブではなかった。
ない。だから大野県友会で、そういう仕事で大野県友会の出身の先輩で独立っていうかしてジャパンアクションクラブが戦隊ものをやってる中で下請けじゃないですけどレッドをずっとやってた方が。
There was his senpai who used to do the red.
Yes.
It was who used to be in Ono Kenyukai action team.
でその方のところに移籍というか。
So he moved to his office.
So that actor, his senpai was Mr. Nibori.
Nibori.
Yes, Mr. Nibori.
So everybody knows Mr. Nibori was the red hero in everything from part of Go Ranger all the way through Jetman, which is maybe about 15 years. He's the Red Ranger. So he was maybe the longest running.
その方も一番長くやってらっしゃったレッドレンジャー。
そうですね、レッドを、多分一番初めのゴレンジャーから。
ゴレンジャー from ゴレンジャー to
ジェットマンという番組まで12、3年ずっとレッド。
12 13 years. Red.
So Nibori-san would be number one, the longest. But then he is next, maybe 9 or 10 years.
そうです。その次に長いです。
9年か10年か。
僕は、キャラクターは11年やらせてもらって、そのうちのレッドが9本。
じゃあキャラクター
レッド以外のブルーとグリーンっていうのが1回あるんで1回ずつ。
そうですか。じゃあレッドは
Red was 9 years, but he did other
also blue and green sometimes, right?
So the total will be like 11 years.
So how did he get that his first Red Ranger role was Gao Ranger. How was he chosen for that?
どうやってキャストされたいきさつとかご存知ですか？レッドに。
多分レッドに入ったのはその前の時点でレッドをやられてたジャパンアクションクラブの、高岩さんっていう方がいるんですけど、その方が仮面ライダーが始まったんで、その仮面ライダーの方に流れていって、でそこの空いたレッドのポジションに入れていただいたっていう。
The previous Red Ranger moved to Kamen Rider. So there's
Mr. Takaiwa.
Takaiwa-san. So Red Ranger was available, and then he was cast.
By that time, Kamen Rider had begun again. So there was Kamen Rider and Super Sentai at the same time. So the actor he's talking about, Seiji Takaiwa, once they started Kamen Rider again, he's the longest consecutive Kamen Rider suit actor, the main actor. And so then he took over as the Red Ranger from that point on. What are some of the challenges of being the red team leader in the stunt division?
やるにあたって難しかったことなんですか？大変だった
こと。動きとかキャラクターもんはやっぱり姿勢とかがやっぱ大切なんでもう本当に衣装とかで体のラインが細けないんで、だから 100% 自分のスピードで動いた時にちゃんとその姿勢がバランスよく取れるとか、崩れる姿勢を見せないように、ヒーローとしてしっかりと。
So the posture is really important as a superhero, and then the suit is really fit, to his body, so he cannot slouch. So he always have to be careful to keep the good posture as a superhero.
How long does one episode take, or is there several episodes filmed at the same time?
撮影期間なんですけど、1話につきどれくらいの時間や日にちをかけるんでしょうか。
2話持ちで、1回撮っていって、で2話で大体10日くらい、1話で5日くらいですかね。
So they take 2 episodes, so taking 10 days, so probably 1 episode for 5 days.
So
Sure.
2 episodes at the same time, but it breaks down to 1 episode every 5 days. They're completed.
Yes.
And what is the process how they decide the special pose or special moves for each character? Does he have input? Does the action director have input? Is this decided by the regular director?
その例えばアクションポーズとか決めるときに、それは監督のアイデアですか、それとも伊沢さんの。
アクションのポーズとかも監督からの、アクション監督ですね。アクション監督からのイメージ、獣のようにとか、獣の中で、一番初めはガオレンジャーっていう獅子だったんで、低めにスタンスが低く、獣っぽい形のものは提示されて、でその中で、自分なりに自分のスタイルに合ったアレンジして、でその監督が OK を出すか。
なるほど。
So the director first suggests him the image of the posture, action pose as Gao Ranger. So it has to be really grounded in lower position. So the director gives him the request or image. Then he's going to arrange on his own way. And then if the director approves it, then it will be the movements or the posture or pose.
So you're using the example of Gao Ranger, but the director is thinking of the theme.
Right.
So that's going
as
to
an animal.
Right. So Gao Ranger, they are animals, so they have very low to the ground
Yes.
posture. And what about his? So he's working with 5, another 4, sometimes more actors, all on the same team, plus the opposing, the villains, and for these action scenes. How does everybody work together? Like, what's the process to choreograph this scene of fighting?
So the ranger あと4人ぐらいがいて、それとあと悪役のキャラクターなんですよね。その人たちとみんなで一緒にやるのは、その盾とか振り付けとか、どうでしたか？自分はやりやすかったとか、難しかったとか。
チームワークは多分いいと思うんで。
Very good teamwork it was.
もう普段からもう一緒に行動してる感じ。
Usually, you know, they are all together all the time.
全然やりやすいですね。
So it wasn't hard to, you know, cooperate each other. And,
コリオグラフはアクション監督から与えられるんですか？
そうです。アクション監督から与えられてる。
action director gives them the choreography.
Right. Does a lot depend on the location? Where they're filming and what is available. Whether it's by water or kind of like rocky surface or outside in a park. Does that dictate what the scene is like? The action scene is like?
例えば水のシーンとか山の前とか、それによっていろいろ振り付けは変わっていますか？
そうですね。基本ラインは同じですよね。だからキャラクターによって攻撃的なキャラクターだったらもう、イケイケの姿勢の中で、その中で、水辺を使うんだったらその水しぶきが跳ねるような激しい絵として成り立つものを飛びかかって転がったりとかして、要はそのキャラクターに合わせつつの中、その場所で臨機応変に。
So the basic movement is the same, but yes, if it's in the water scene, they have to emphasize the water splashing, make it look more effective, so they come up with which is the most effective way, making use of the water scene, and then they arrange to that location.
Which character or series, Super Sentai series, that he played, the red character, is he most proud of?
Which character?
Which character or series? For example, maybe the entire theme came out how he pictured it. Which series or character is he most proud of from Super Sentai?
誇りに思っている、役とか、エピソードとか戦隊はどれですか？
ではどれも毎年やらせてもらって、その年ごとにやっぱり違ったなんか良さがあるんで。
Each year it's different, and each year it's a great thing he discovers.
でもそれでもやっぱ豪快者っていうのが一番最終的に、その前の戦隊とかをこういろいろ出してきてやらせてもらったんで、一応自分の中では豪快者。
And what does he like about Gokaiger?
豪快者のどの部分が一番いいと思いますかとか、ここに思ってますけど、それ一番最初に
頭の方とかですね、こう一番頭の方でその豪快者がもう全部今までの歴史の戦隊のキャラクターを後ろに引き連れた絵があるんですけど。
There's a picture that he had the previous characters showing the history, and the beginning of the scene or the episode of Gokaiger.
So yeah, Gokaiger brings back all of the previous characters, and the new team can use the power, depending on the situation. They could use the power of that, of the different previous characters. So he likes that. He likes that concept.
それがかっこいい。
そうですね。もうこう1話見てもらえると分かるんですけどね。こう豪快者がいて、後ろにも全戦隊が今までのキャラクター全部並んで、それを従えるわけじゃないですけど、その先頭に立たせてもらってね、その歴史の中で一番これから始まるっていう感じの状況を自分の中でやらせてもらえたっていうのはすごい誇りというか。
He was very proud of being, the leader of,
Right.
Yeah, bringing all the previous characters.
Right.
So that's what he really likes it.
Likes
Proud of.
Gokaiger. And from those series that he was action director, which is he most proud of?
アクション監督としては何が一番これが自信作だっていうのがありますか？
アクション監督になってから、一番力を入れたのは一番初めのゴーバスターズで、こっちでは多分やってないと思うんですけど、スパイものの
There's a Go Buster.
Go Buster. Right.
He was not sure if it's running in America.
Go Busters did not become Power Rangers. Didn't. So only certain series become Power Ranger. But the fans now the younger fan who likes Super Sentai, they can watch the Japanese version. So many fans have seen Go Buster if they like Super Sentai.
でも若いファンの方々はリサーチして見つけると思います。はい。
そうですね。だから一番初めがもうアクション監督1年目でゴーバスターズっていうのはやっぱり一番個人的には力が入りましたね。あとはその中でその経験を蓄積するのだったりとかで10年間やらせてもらって。
So the first thing he did as a Go Buster as an action director, So he really put all his energy onto it. And then he directed, for 10 years, and then he was, more experienced.
At one time, a Super Sentai series would happen it would be broadcast in Japan, and 1 year later it was changed for Power Rangers. So they would see the version of Power Rangers here. But at that time of Gokaiger, and then next was Go Busters, they got behind. So maybe Go Busters, I don't recall Power Rangers very well, what exactly they used, but maybe Go Busters was used, but it was years later. It wasn't the 1 year to the next year, Super Sentai, and then the next year it's in the United States as Power Rangers. It's possible they used Go Busters, but I can't recall. It was several years after.
Go Ranger?
Go Busters, the series he's talking about. Some years there was no new Power Rangers, so it's not as consistent as the Japanese series. And sometimes they go far back, and maybe 5 years, and take a series and make it new. They add new actors.
コンスタントにシリーズにならなくて、アメリカの場合はですね、戻ったり見たりだったということです。
Has he seen anything of Power Rangers? The American version.
アメリカのパワーレンジャーをご覧になったことありますか？
パワーレンジャーは、見たことあります。
はい、he has seen it.
And is there one in particular he likes, or is it not so interesting?
好きな、面白い、これはいいなって思ったのとか、これはちょっとつまんないなと思ったのとか、そのパワーレンジャーってありますか？
でもデカレンジャーの刑事物のパワーレンジャーがあるんですけど、
デカレンジャー。He thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it was like a Power Ranger SPD or something with speed. Speed. Yeah. So interesting. The fans here really loved that he was Gamera in Gamera 3. There was the Heisei Gamera series, 3 films by the same director, and number 3 is thought of very highly. So how did he get that role as a kaiju actor? Much different than a Super Sentai actor.
ガメラのファンの方が多くて、特にその1、2、3でとても大人気ですよね。で、それどうやってキャストされましたか？
キャストで選ばれたのは、もともとはガメラ3っていうのはその恐怖感を与えるためにちょっと小さめの設定だったんですけど、1、2っていうのは。
So the Gamera 1, 2 was
Very small.
very small, so that the impact of the 3 will be very big.
Right, right.
で、それで身長が高いのもありま
Because he was
して、
tall.
He was tall.
でその担当する AAC というアクションチームがあるんですけども、
There's an action team called
そこ
AAC.
のやっぱ身長が高い吉田
Yoshidaさん who is
Yoshida
tall. 吉田瑞穂さん。
吉田瑞穂さんが本当多分入る予定だったんですけど、
So he's supposed to be
ちょっ
selected,
と別の作品で
but he was busy with
ちょっと
other.
やっぱりそこを担当することが難しくて、でそれで当時たまに手伝いとか一緒にやらせてもらってたチームっていうつながりがあって、
So
で
he had a connection to the team. Then that's how he got it.
And is that the first time that he worked with AAC stunts and Mr. Ohashi? Mr. Ohashi is the enemy kaiju in Gamera. Is this the first time working together?
AAC とその方、ごつ
大橋さん
とそれ初めて今日ですか？AAC と通してと大橋さん。
AC の大橋さんとは別にその前も20代前半の頃から後楽園のヒーローショーとかがあって、そこで一緒にやらせてもらってたっていうのがある。
He used to be with the event at Korakuen Hall in his late 20s. So he's already worked before for the live event.
Right. And what is, what is some the difficulty or challenge of playing that kind of character instead of Super Sentai character?
でスーパー戦隊キャラクターをやってたわけなんですけど、そのガメラをやるにあたって難しかったなと、この変化はちょっと大きいなとありましたか？
ガメラの時っていうのもほとんど動きが制限されちゃうので、要はもう視界も本当にこう見えなくて、
はい、
The Gabala's movement is really limited.
大体
It's hard to see.
右側とかでなんか作業しててもなんか感じるんですけど、人の感じがでも見えない。
But you
ちょっと
cannot see this area.
見ようとしてこう体を動かしちゃうと、もう体で他のブロックとか街壊しちゃうんで
So if you try to look at the side, the big tails of fin will destroy the other set. So you have to be really careful.
もうなかなかねこう動かない、もう来たら動かないようにこう、あとそのやる前にもリハーサルで街とかを組まないで、だいたいリハーサルをやってから街を組んで照明さんが入って、そこで改めてっていう感じなんで、ある程度の動線は決まるんで。
So before they're using the set, they rehearsed carefully, and then there's the lighting, adding the lighting. So he was careful not to move too much, and then because of the rehearsal, it was okay. Then they used the real
So he
set.
could figure out where to step during rehearsal. And who would come up with the movement for the kaiju?
はい、誰が振り付け会場の動きについて、作りました？
そこはもう特撮監督ですね。
Yes, action director.
The special effects director.
Yeah, special effect, tokusatsu director.
And he would decide what he wanted to see.
そう特撮ディレクターがこういう風にしたいからこう動けっていう風に指示を出して
そんな細かい指示はないんですけど
It's
も、
not a small detail that he choreographed.
Yeah.
はい、絵コンテでこういう状況の絵を作りたいと。
So he sees the storyboard
例えば渋谷の街で
in Shibuya City.
ガメラが降りてきて、
Gamma is
Gauss.
coming down.
ギャオスが飛んでるわけですよ。
Gauss is flying.
でそれにギャオスに対して火球とか吹くんですけど、その火球でもう街が要は被害を被るんですけど、その被害を被ることはもう全然お構いなしにもギャオスに対してガンガン行くと。だからそれ細かいだからそういう指示はなくて、大まかにそういうふうに見えるような。
So by the storyboard he knows that there's a fire breath.
Right.
And keeps doing it, doesn't mind, the city will be destroyed.
Right.
Doing it.
So he's imagining what the movement he has to make, and they're going to end the fire after.
Yes.
So in the Shibuya scene, the destruction of the Shibuya scene after Gamera lands in Shibuya, was he and Mr. Ohashi, the two kaiju suit actors, they had an extra part as the victim, the people in the Shibuya area. It's him and Mr. Ohashi in the same scene.
被害者にも出ました。
They have a little
Play the
cameo.
victims.
Yeah, victims.
だからガメラが上から落ちてきて、ガーンなった時に電話ボックス、
In a telephone booth.
電話ボックスの中でガーンガシャンと
In
災害にある。
October. So he played that victim role.
He was also I think there's a scene where you see his face and you see Mr. Ohashi on the ground, and they're both very afraid of this giant monster.
大橋さんもね、
Ohashi-san as well.
But there's also one guy who goes through a telephone booth, like through the glass of a telephone booth. That's also him.
はい、じゃあ、はい、そうですね。
So he did that stunt work as a regular person through the
Yes.
glass. That's interesting. I didn't know that one. So let's take some questions from everybody. I hope you have some questions from Mr. Fukuzawa. Okay, right there.
Two small questions, but I wanted to know what were some of the hours like working on Super Sentai, if you had very long days sometimes, just if it was a grueling schedule, and the other was, did he ever sustain any serious injuries during any of his Super Sentai stunt work, or was it a pretty pretty effective shoot?
はい、1個目の質問はスーパー戦隊どれくらい撮影の時間がかかりますか。2つ目は怪我とかしたことありますか。
撮影の時間っていうのは1話に関して
You're talking about Super Sentai. How long did it take to
Just
take?
like, did he have any long work days? Were there a lot of hours in a day that he had to work?
すごい長時間一日早朝から夜中まで働いたとかそういう。
あ長い時は朝6時に出発
Longest days started from 6 a.m.
ロケ地に
and
着
going
い
to
て
the location
で、撮影して、
to the shooting.
日が沈むまでやってでそこから、セットに帰ってきて
And then they come back to the studio
でそこからまたやって
and started the shooting again
でもう真夜中過ぎ一番長いのはその朝方まで
till the next morning when the longest day. So
20ほぼ24時間って時はありました
almost 24 hours.
組合とかそういうのなかったです。
そうまだ昔
It was long time, so there's no union rule. Long hours yet.
So it's not just the long day, it's the whole day, all the entire day.
And the second question is about the injury, right?
公にするといろいろ問題が起きるので
あ、そうですか。
多分昔
So it was a long time ago. It's forgotten now. So, and
じゃあ怪我のことに関して
怪我はやっぱ膝がどうしても靭帯っていうね弱くなってきてずれたりとか膝の
the
怪我は
knee injuries happened a lot.
両足とも両足やってでやっぱり
It's too much stretched.
ロック膝がロックしてここから伸びなくなっちゃったりとか
Yeah. Oh, the joint got locked and
いや
ここで伸びなくなっちゃうんでそれをこう自分でこう足をこうずらしながら引っかかってる部分を外して伸ばす
You know the joint in the knee,
Yes.
right? It got locked, so but
he himself had to adjust.
痛かったですか。
そうですもうでも引っかかってる時が痛くてなんか気持ち悪い感じで
Yeah.
でもうだんだん回数が多くなってきてで寝返り打ったら引っかかっちゃった時とかも出てきて
So when it's really locked, it's uncomfortable, and when he's turned, when he's sleeping, it feels, hurting and weird. But he got used to it.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
犠牲にまでしていただいてありがとうございます。
どうも
Another question.
As a kid, what was your favorite TV shows growing up? Did you watch Ultraman, Mirror Man, Kamen Rider, cartoons, whatever?
子供時代に影響を受けたとか好きだったそういう仮面ライダーとかウルトラマンとかいろいろありますけどそういうのは
スーパー戦隊のサンバルカンっていう
Super Sentai Sambalkan.
サンバル
がインスピレーション。
カンはい
He got inspired by that.
わかります？サンバルカン？
Sun Vulcan.
Sambalkan, sorry, Sambalkan, Super Sentai.
Another question.
How long did it take to put the camera costume on? How many people had to help you?
はい、ガメラコスチュームを着るのに何時間かかりましたか？何人ヘルプしてくれましたか？
多分ヘルプは2人か3人くらいですね
2 or 3 people assisted.
で結構慣れてきても、10分近くはかかるんですかね
Even after he got used to it, we put it on, but it takes 10 minutes.
5分か慣れてきたら
And then gradually, like 5 minutes,
そんなに
got faster.
すぐには
But
頭中入ったらヘルメットで自分の頭固定して
first you have to secure with the helmet.
カメラの顔と連動して上下
So Gamera's face, right, is here.
自分のとこう連動してるんで
Oh, it's connected.
僕がこう上向いたらカメラが上に
So you look up, Gamera's face is up. So have to secure.
だから中入った時にまずそれをこう止めて調節して、
when he inside the suit, he has to adjust first the around the head
で着て、まあ、背中ファスナー閉めて、で今度ま
and
た
then zip it up.
甲羅があるんで甲羅をこうきれいにこう合わせながら、
Adjusting the shell as well.
まあ、それなりに時間かかって、
So that's why it took time.
で一回まあ、火の中でこうちょっと転んでしまい、
If one time he fell down in the fire
渋谷の
in the Shibuya
渋谷が燃え盛ってるとこをこう歩いていくところ
fire
で、
scene and was warm.
火をこうガスのボンベがあるんですけど、あそこでつま先が引っかかってそのまま転んじゃったんです。
He got tripped over and then he fell
燃えてる中、
when it was fires
そこでこう助けがバーッと来て、
and
も
a
う
lot of people helped to rescue
開
him
けてくれたんですけど、
and they opened it.
結
That's
構早く開けてくれましたね。
so they did it right away.
Yeah.
So he was okay.
そうだから命がかかるとみんなちょっとね早いですよ
When it's really dangerous, they make a quick action.
So I was at the Gamera 3 special effects filming for one day, and I saw the suit, and I saw him. I met him the first time, and that suit is he goes into the back, and then the shell goes on. But you can tell him when I saw the suit, it had a big hole in it because if you know in the movie, Iris stabs right through Gamera, so they really made a hole in the suit. Was that dangerous for him?
ガメラのスーツに穴が開いてるんですか？なんかパンチで
Big,
こう
big hole in both sides.
両方のサイズに穴があるんですか？
ありました確か
He remembers that.
に。多分
Because there were.
確か自分で、あれやったんじゃないですかね。
自分で。
カメラ自体が。
The camera itself did it.
あれ違うあれ
He's not remembering.
どうだっけ？
In Kyoto Station,
Kyoto
Kyoto Station battle,
京都ステーションの
Iris through
ね、
Gamera.
貫かれ、開きました。
It got penetrated.
Yeah.
Now he remembers.
And the suit really had. This is not for example, close-up suit, and this is real. The suit had big hole.
本物の穴。
So how did he avoid that?
スタ
Stabbing into the suit.
した方はどうやって？
それは貫通するところは寄り目なので、まあそこは入ってないです。
入ってない。
入ってないもう体の一部だけを撮影してるんで。で
It was close up and then-
クローズアップ。だから、もう皮膚をこう貫く寄り目
はい。
だけなんで、その時は入ってないです。でその後のこうなんだ貫かれた状態の時に入って演技をする。
ということは、
So when it's close up, it doesn't.
He's not inside
Right.
when it's close up,
Right.
but they use the actual
After
suit.
the penetration, he
Then he
acts.
goes inside. I understand.
Yes.
Looks very painful. even the suit looks painful.
血が出てたから。
I think it was because it was bleeding. It looked.
Yeah, and it looks like there's no room for an actor when that happens. It's like stabbing.
なんか本当にアクターが入ってないぐらいと見える。すごい本物。
ありがたいことですね。
Yeah, he appreciates that. It worked well.
So since the suit got punctured, how many Gamera suits were made?
ガメラ
I
のスー
think
ツ
it was just one full suit.
ガメラのスーツって何着作られたんですかね。
2とかは分かんないですけど、3に関しては1体だけです。
Yeah, just one.
だから動くのと寄り目もそれで賄わなきゃいけないんで動きづらいんですよね。
There was
Hard to move.
there was a full suit, but then there was like a half puppet.
とあと
It was
あとお人形。
Maybe this much of Gamera and like this tall.
これ
And
パペット。
はい。
One
maybe
puppet.
they use for like close up or something, or maybe it's like a hand puppet Gauss in that movie is completely a hand puppet, and for the close-up, and there's no Gauss suit. It's just the top part with some wings, and there was a puppeteer, and he was moving it. But the other scenes with Gauss flying is of course CGI.
So I know that Kamiya-san can't be here with you. So how did you and Naoko Kamiya like first meet? Because you're obviously both amazing suit actors. Did you guys just meet through suit acting?
神尾さんとどうやって知り合ったんですか。お二人とも素晴らしいスーツアクターなんですけど。
若い頃に後楽園野外劇場が大きい劇場があって、でそこのヒーローショーで一緒にやってて。
They met at the hero show at the Korakuen Hall, the live event, and then that's how they met.
はい。
Have you guys like gotten to be in anything together? Like any
なんか一緒に共演したことありますか。
Sentai?
それ以
まあ、でも現場が大体一緒だったんで、もうそれ以降のテレビの、スーパー戦隊の、番組もずっとやってますし、僕もやってますし。
So in the Super Sentai series, they worked together
ずっと仲一緒ですね。
all the time. Yeah, they're working together.
Are they Fukuzawa-san, Kamiya-san? Are they ever on the same team? You know, he's red or another color, and she is white or pink. Were they ever the same series and same team?
スーパーセンターで片方が白で片方が赤でとか奥様とそういうので一緒のチームになられたことありますか。
一緒のチームはないです。
It didn't happen to be in the same team.
But what would be an example of a Super Sentai series where they are both main characters? Maybe he is a hero and she is on the villain side or something.
じゃあ例えば彼女が悪役でっていうのはあったんですか。
そうですね、向こうが悪役で僕がいい方っていうのはあります。
Yeah, there was a time he was superhero, and then she was villain
She was
character.
So another question right there.
I've always wondered how much communication is there between the director of the visual effects and the director for the overall film? Do they meet regularly to discuss what they want in the scene, or does the main film director just give notes to the visual effects director?
And is that for Super Sentai television? Excuse me, Super Sentai television or something like the Gamera Kaiju
I suppose
movie?
for the kaiju film specifically, but I was also curious overall, like if there's much communication between the two directors.
はい、特技監督ですかと本編の監督とどれくらいその話し合いとかあるんですか。その2つの監督の間で。よりますか、その監督のスタイル。
そうですね。どうですかね。もう撮影が始まる前くらいに打ち合わせして、あとはあんまりないんじゃないですかね。
Probably he said before the shooting series started, they got together maybe, but
During
once
the
it started,
development.
yeah, they don't have
Then
the
they're too
meeting.
busy
Right.
because it's separate.
Yes.
I have a question. How much on Super Sentai is Bandai Company involved in the decision making? Like, do they sometimes change what they're doing because Bandai wants to sell some kind of product?
はい、バンダイさんの影響はどれくらいあるんでしょうか。これ売ってたらもっとこれキャラ怪獣を作れて
まあどれくらい言っていいのか。
I don't know how much he can talk about it in public.
まあある程度ありますね。
Yes, there are some.
変身グッズとか、
Yeah, and
やっぱそれが売れなきゃいけないので、変身するときにいかにもそれをよりを拾うかとか、あと変身ポーズでちゃんと見せるか。
Yeah.
Show off the transformation pose,
Right.
so that it can sell.
or the henshin item,
Henshin item,
so they
right?
can sell to children.
Right.
ロボットの合体パターン。
Right.
So the
Robots.
Robot,
See.
combination robot, and they
Yes.
can make. Yeah.
Right.
I was once told, so I can talk about it. I was once told by development person at Bandai, who was head of the kaiju division, or at the time, in the late 90s, kaiju toys were, vinyl figures were popular. And I believe that person now is the development, he's the development head of SH Monster Arts. He does that area. But he told me kaiju movie is maybe just some suggestion, like Godzilla, or Toho was deciding what they want to make, and then Bandai mostly goes along with it. And he told me Ultraman, at the time Ultraman series had begun again, Ultraman was about 50%. So Bandai would have many suggestions about what they want to sell. So if you recall, in the 90s when Ultraman had a comeback, the first series was Ultraman Tiga. And there was many ships, like 20 different vehicles. Whereas the previous Ultraman series just had like maybe, one main ship and then some tank or something that could drill through the ground, like some specialized vehicle. Ultraman Tiga had all these ships because Bandai wanted to sell many die-cast ships. And then he told me Super Sentai is 100% Bandai decides what they're going to make. But this was about late 90s, so about 25 to 28 years ago. So I don't know how it's changed, but I would think that Bandai still has a big say in what's made, especially with the Ultraman series and a Kamen Rider series and a Super Sentai series every year. Another question? Yeah.
Does that camera suit or any part of the camera suit still exist?
Yes. I know. This shirt that I'm wearing, the shirt that I'm wearing is Ultra Q, but you can see DNA Tokusatsu exhibit. And my friends own the Gamera suit. For they keep for the studio. You know them, you know their company, M1, Emichiko. And they make vinyl toys. They've been making vinyl figures for over 30 years. And they keep the suits for use by exhibit, so the studios don't have any room to keep this. M1 keeps it, and then the studios hire them to go here and make an exhibit. So the current exhibit, DNA no Tokusatsu, the DNA of special effects, they show the Gamera suit. The Gamera 3 suit is a little bit damaged. It didn't hold up so well. The Gamera 2 suit is almost perfect. It looks perfect. At least 5 years ago when I was in Japan and I was at their place, I saw it. And it looked very good. Usually it's this area where the mouth has to move that it deteriorates very quickly. So I think the Gamera 3 suit has some deterioration around the mouth. Another question?
So last year for Dome Brothers, two of the warriors were all CGI, so I'm kind of curious to know what it was like to direct the action scenes at that time.
So Dawn Brothers series, he's saying 2 of the characters were complete computer generated. So how was that to direct or be involved?
だからやっぱ CG、キャラクターが、2体 CG なんですけど、モーションキャプチャーで現場で撮りながらという作業です。
So while using the motion capture.
So 1 or 2 actors are playing those roles?
2 actors.
2 actors.
でやっぱりそこのセッティングまでの時間もかかるし、
It takes long time for the setting up to the point.
あと、映った時にその CG のキャラクターが要は一番こう手前に来ちゃうわけです。
CG character on the screen, it's really looks big. It's looks front.
そうだからそれの位置関係を、動きの中で、うまいこと調節しながら、その時間の限られた1日の時間の中に 落とし込まなきゃいけないので、そういった意味もどれだけそこの情報量をギュッと短く。
So he needs to adjust those, distance or where to place with the limited time of shooting, which is like one day.
And this is the other actors, or is it the set, or is part of the set CGI? What are the like parameters he has to work in for that kind of CGI character?
そういう CG キャラクターっていうのはどれくらいの範囲でですか、監督。はい。
For example, I saw one episode of the latest Sentai series.
最近戦隊シリーズ見たときに。
I'm sorry, what is his name? What's the name of the latest Sentai series?
King
King Oger.
King Oger.
And except for some scenes, the setting looks like 100% CGI.
はい。
So the question he's asking about Dunn Brothers, is there some CGI in the set, or is it a complete set and they're just inserting CGI character?
セットはどれくらいの割合でも CGA とかセット全部 CGA 使っちゃってるのかちょっとだけとか本物のセットを使ってるのか。
ドンブラザーズに関しては、セットはもう1個だけ作って。
As for Don Brother, they make one set.
で、後の、状況は合成。
Is
CGI.
合成 CG。あとはロケーション。
And then use some location place.
だから、どれくらいだろう、CG のあれは3割とかくらいですかね。
The CG.
30% is CG.
でただ今のキングオージャーに関してはもう 80% くらい多分 CG の。
For the King Oja, it's 80%
CG. Wow. Another question? We have time for a few more. Okay, you again.
So before I ask the question, you played Ultraman.
Did you play Ultraman?
ウルトラマンやりました？やったことありますか？
ウルトラマンはやったことないです。一回だけ昔にちゃんとした作品はないですけど、ウルトラマン対仮面ライダーっていう。
Ultraman vs. Kamen Rider.
いや、その特別な映像作品があるんですけど、そこの時に一瞬だけちょっと、ワンカットやったことはあります。
ウルトラマン。
ウルトラマン。
So it was like a special project.
Right.
Ultraman versus
Kamen
Rider. So he was in Kamen Rider, just really briefly.
He was Kamen Rider, not Ultraman.
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 And this was in the movie.
これ映画ですか？
Or for a tie-in event, live tie-in event.
映画特別映像なんですね。3D の。多分映画ではあると思うんですけど。
He's not sure, probably movie.
Yeah, so Ultraman versus Kamen Rider is the beginning is like a retrospective of all Ultraman and Kamen Rider up to that time. And then there's a short ending, a short end scene where Ultraman is fighting Giant Hero. Giant Hero is fighting Kaiju, Daikaiju. And Kamen Rider is fighting a small, human-sized enemy. And the two monsters merge together. And so Kamen Rider and become one big. And so Kamen Rider and Ultraman, Kamen Rider becomes big. And so Kamen Rider and Ultraman are both fighting this monster. So he was Ultraman, that scene. It's maybe 10 minutes.
So this is.
Yes, he did.
So he was Ultraman.
So my question, I was wondering if you played Ultraman. How much Ultraman and Gamma did you watch playing roles?
So when he played Gamera in one movie and Ultraman in that sequence, did he watch any of the previous movies or TV shows to get some inspiration how to move as Gamera, how to move as Ultraman?
ガメラをやった時とかウルトラマンの時、その前に 映像、過去の映像を見て研究しましたか？
まあそれなりには多分研究はしてます。
Yeah, he researched.
でガメラに関しては、
As for gamma,
まあ一応その前の作品はまあ見てたんで改めて動きというよりもその動物のなんですかあれをちょっと取り入れてほしいっていうその監督からの要望でまあクマとかそういうちょっと動物チックな感じでもうちょっと獣というか。
ガメラですね。
as for gamma, the director requested him some animal type of movement. So he tried to, study like a bear's movement.
クマ。
そうですね、ああいうちょっと、クマも見たし、まあいろいろ動物見ましたね。見てなんか合いそうなものからちょっとチョイスして。
So he watched, different kind of animals and he picked, best movement from each animals.
So not necessarily a gamma movie or a particular gamma, but he studied real animals, how they move. And for Ultraman, was there something that he looked at?
ウルトラマンの場合はウルトラマンをやった時に何を研究？
ウルトラマンの場合はね、そんな研究するほどでもなかったですね。確か。
あ、そう
だからやられて吹っ飛ぶだけなの。
So Ultraman part was small. He's getting beaten up and jumped away. So he didn't have to research a lot about it.
So we have time for one more. Somebody has a question. I'm going to take that, but I'm going to go because I've had to really go to the toilet. So I'm going to go do that. And then after that, if you want to see Mr. Fukuzawa the rest of the show, he's going to be at his table. Please come and meet him. So, your question.
Okay. It's actually two questions. What was your favorite scene film in the movie? And
favorite.
What was his favorite scene filming of Gamera, and the last one is if he knows like why he has smaller screen, why he has like smaller screen time in Gamera 3 versus like all the other movies where he has more moments.
So about Gamera 3, you're asking what was his about his movie. What was his favorite scene?
Yeah.
Favorite scene.
Okay. So he's asking two parts. One is both about Gamera 3. Why or what was his favorite scene in his movie as Gamera, and then also from Gamera 1, 2, and 3 in the Heisei series, Gamera has the least amount of screen time. His Gamera is not on the screen as much as the first two movies. He's asking why, if he knows why this was.
ガメラ3の中で好きなシーンは何ですか？それと123の中でスクリーンタイムがガメラ3は短かった。1、2に比べて短かったかもしれないんですけど、それはなぜですか？
まあ
じゃあ最初の
初めの
はい、ガメラ3で好きなシーンですね。
好きなシーンは最後イギリスをやっつけて改めてリャオスがいっぱい飛んできます。でそれに向かって歩いていくっていう立ち向かうガメラがリャオスに向かってそこですかね。まだこれから向かっていくっていう感じ。
ガメラが。
はい。
So it makes the audience think Gamera still keeps walking. So I thought its image was nice, beautiful. So that's his favorite scene.
はい。そして
であと3に関して多分短いと思うんですよ。1、2より。
So the 3 is
出演が。
the Gamera appearance is shorter as compared to 1 and 2.
多分それはガメラ自体をちょっと怖い存在に多分1と2っていうのは要は人間の見方として多分捉えてたと思う。
So in 1 and 2, Gamera was sort of, on the side of the human.
ただ3に関してはもうちょっと違う恐怖の対象という始まってるんで、多
So
分
they tried to make the Gamela as a scary existence, appearance in the Gamela 3.
で結果的に助けてくれる存在なんですけど、
But after all, it will help the human.
1、2よりもちょっと悪い悪じゃないですけど、ただあんまりなんですか、善人というかそっち方向に持っていかなかった分あんまり多くを見せちゃうといろいろ出てきちゃうので、それをなるべくちょっと少なくしてっていう。
In order to make it, special role, the less is more, so that make it look more mysterious and then powerful. That's why he thinks its screen time is shorter in Gamma 3. That's what he thinks. So, I think it's 3 o'clock, so we have the next guest.
Hey guys, it's Joe Mike. Hey guys, I just was hopping in for Jim. It is 3 o'clock. I was just going to thank you guys for coming to this panel. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys stay tuned for Akira Ohashi coming up next.
Thank you.